Today on DC News Now, all eyes on Capitol Hill as lawmakers face a possible government shutdown. The latest ahead. And how a non-surgical option makes for quicker treatment and recovery time for prostate cancer patients. The sun returns to the DMV when we could see rain pop up again. Meteorologist Damon Matson is tracking your forecast.
It's sad to see that we had to cancel our festival for fear.
Plus, some Hispanic Heritage Month celebrations have been canceled, why some say they are in fear. And later, Money Talks. We're helping you stretch your dollar with how to help kids achieve financial fluency.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Shanika Grimshaw. Mark Hall has the day off. Happy Friday. We made it to Friday. Let's start with meteorologist Damon Matson joining us with a check on the forecast. And Damon, yeah, we made it to Friday. I know we've dealt with some rain for the past 2 days, it seems like, and we could see some rain this weekend. Hopefully I'm wrong.
We could, but Shanika, I gotta ask, how excited were you to see that sunshine come out this morning?
I was excited. I was happy, but also at the same time mad because I heard about rain.
I know. I'm just trying to live in the moment. I know I got some bad news to deliver. I'm trying to avoid it, as you can tell, folks. But yeah, as far as it goes today, before we talk about that nasty stuff this weekend, I mean, yeah, finally, on a Friday, we broke out of that cloudiness, all of that rainfall. Now, we saw hints of the sunshine between some of that steady rainfall and the storms we dealt with on Thursday. But here today, no rainfall to be found. We are still seeing some clouds, especially across the western half of the DMV toward I-81 and the mountains, but largely speaking, many more of us are seeing that sunshine and getting a chance to soak it up while it's here. Now, because we do have that sunshine around, despite a cold front that swept through yesterday, temperatures aren't going to be changing all that much. As a matter of fact, those of us that do see more sunshine throughout the afternoon will be pushing a lot more so into the lower, perhaps middle 80s. DC and Waldorf already at 80 degrees, where there is a little bit more cloud cover. Temperatures holding mostly in the 70s, but it's still going to feel decently warm, decently muggy, as we're not clearing out all of the moisture that's been around the last few days. So there you go. We'll have the warmer temperatures. We'll have that break in the cloud cover here and there, but no rainfall to speak of. That's the good news for today. However, heading into Saturday, it's going to return. We'll talk about the timing on that soggy weather for your weekend plans coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Now to an update out of Western Maryland. We now know the name of the woman who died during yesterday's car crash, and that was off of Interstate 81. Police say 36-year-old Kathleen Hitch from Falling Waters, West Virginia, died at that scene there. Police believe one of the tractor trailers was slowing down during Thursday's commute near Williamsport when it was hit from behind. That car, driven by Hitch, and it caused the tractor trailer to hit another vehicle. Now the investigation is ongoing. And switching gears, former FBI Director James Comey is being indicted. Comey is the first former senior government official facing prosecution related to the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. The president and his supporters have repeatedly said the investigation was a hoax and a witch hunt, but multiple government reviews show Moscow did interfere on behalf of the president's first campaign, and Comey released a video after the announcement.
My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial.
Comey was one of the people. He wasn't the biggest, but he's a dirty cop. He's always been a dirty cop. Everybody knew it.
And here's what Attorney General Pam Bondi posted on social media. You could see it there. She says, quote, "No one is above the law, and today's indictment reflects this Department of Justice's commitment to holding those who abuse positions of power accountable for misleading the American people, and we'll follow the facts in this case." And with a shutdown looming, some federal workers are preparing to tighten their belts, and for some, times are already tough, and the Capital Area Food Bank says more than 2 out of every 5 households impacted by federal cuts are food insecure. DC News Now's Max Marcilla has that story.
Because of a potential government shutdown and the number of fired federal workers and contractors already in this region, plus people expecting to get their last payments from the federal government, we could see a busy food bank system even busier in the coming weeks and months. We have seen it at times before during COVID. We've also seen it when inflation was at its highest. Now a new factor, federal cuts. We spoke with Capital Area Food Bank President and CEO Radha Mathia about the impact they're seeing.
I think people sometimes don't realize that federal contractors and employees come in very different personas. So we've seen individuals who used to work in the cleaning service for different federal government buildings, or those who would work in the cafeteria. And we've also seen individuals who are service providers to those who worked in the federal government. So those who are nannies, nail technicians, salon owners.
As for the looming government shutdown, it could lead to even greater reductions to the federal workforce, not to mention the standard shutdown furloughs. Mathia says it would only deepen the issues they see related to hunger.
And we know for so many, especially those making less than $80,000 or $90,000, they are living paycheck to paycheck. So when they miss a paycheck, they start to get into financial distress.
And then there are SNAP benefits, which is the other big area where the Capital Area Food Bank anticipates some need, where many people in this region, including a lot of low-income families, could see their benefits cut, some as soon as October 1st. They say this is their safety net, and they are relying on community partners to pick up and deliver food to the people who soon could need it even more. Reporting in Northeast, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
All right, Max, thank you. And developing now, President Trump signing an executive order to allow the death penalty in the district. According to the order, it would apply to a person convicted of egregious crime. And DC abolished the death penalty in 1981. And happening today, the D.C. Department of Corrections is hosting a special graduation celebrating for more than 30 returning citizen graduates of their program. And graduates, their families, and service providers shared their experiences and highlighted the importance of strong reentry services and serving and supporting those coming home. Also new at noon, D.C. police say they have arrested a juvenile for several offenses that all happened within a week. Police say those incidents happened between September 12th through the 18th across Southeast. The crimes alleged include carjackings and robberies. A 15-year-old boy was taken into custody. And staying into D.C., police releasing new images of 18-year-old Naquan Antonio Lucas. They say Lucas is involved in the shooting death of congressional intern, 21-year-old Eric Turpinian Jackham. Jackham was caught in the crossfire after he was shot near the intersection of 7th and M Street in June. Anyone with information on Lucas is asked to contact police. And Congress is looking to change the landscape of the judicial system in the district. It has advocacy groups urging the Senate to reject efforts for federal leaders to solely select D.C. judges. And there's legislation to eliminate the Judicial Nomination Commission since the 70s, and it's given people who live in the city a say in how their local courts are run. DC News Now's Mariel Carbone walks us through the bill that now sits with the Senate.
More than 270 businesses, advocacy groups, activists, and neighbors signing on to this letter urging the Senate to vote no on this bill. They say it is just another attack on D.C. home rule. On Capitol Hill, more than 270 D.C. activists, businesses, and neighbors joining together.
We are united in our opposition to these bills.
Delivering this letter to Senate leadership.
Because they undermine D.C. home rule.
And urging them to reject House Bill 5125, which eliminates the Judicial Nominations Commission.
The Judicial Nominations Commission fills a wonderful efficiency role.
Misty Thomas-Oleski is the executive director of the Council for Court Excellence and says the JNC plays a critical role in filling judicial vacancies. The commission, which is made up of 7 federally and locally appointed members, vets judicial candidates, then makes recommendations to the president, who ultimately makes judicial nominations to the Senate for confirmation.
If we get rid of the Judicial Nomination Commission, the impact is that there is no district voice when the nominees go to the president.
And while D.C. does have a chronic judicial vacancy problem with 20% of seats vacant,
the bill that's in the Congress right now does nothing to fix the actual problem, which is delayed consideration by the Senate.
Crime in the District of Columbia has recently reached levels unseen.
House Republicans argue this bill and nearly a dozen others are about increasing safety in the district.
This is a red herring.
Christine Zinner is with the Alliance for Justice.
This has been around for 40 years, and to kind of undo that in a matter of weeks is very disturbing.
She's calling for more thoughtful consideration.
If you want to do such a drastic change that could potentially really undermine an established democratic process, that deserves a lot of airtime, a lot of conversation, a lot of debate, and a lot of thought, none of which is happening right now.
And the group is also calling on the Senate to reject another House bill that would remove D.C.'s elected Attorney General and instead have the president appoint an Attorney General. That is still under House consideration, so it hasn't yet moved over to the Senate side. Reporting from the Capitol, I'm Marielle Carbone, D.C. News Now.
Blue Lights is a community outreach program with law enforcement, and starting tomorrow, Prince George's County will team up with DC Police to focus on what they call hotspot enforcement. That would increase police in high crime areas, and the operation goes until Sunday morning at 3 a.m. Also happening today, the Comma's Food Hall is having its grand opening. Silver Spring is now home to this pretty unique dining option. Comma's Food Hall has 10 new restaurants ready to serve their customers, and the grand opening is kicking off with live music, Disney characters, magicians, prizes, and so much more. The food hall is inside of Ellsworth Place in downtown Silver Spring. That event starts at 4.